So, good morning, everyone, and Assalamu alaikum. I'm addressing to all the dignitaries and luminaries from pharma industry of Pakistan. I also see that probably there are some delegates from the from delegates from the government sector here, and to all of my colleagues and friends from pharma industry. First of all, a big vote of thanks to the organizers, PPMA, TDAP, and if I'm missing some names, my apologies in the beginning that I am first time here in Pakistan, and slowly I would come to know all the organizations, all the responsible people. And a big personal thank you to Morgan Group, who were my host here and who made this visit possible. Now, during my business experience of last so many years, I keep traveling across the world. And it's been my endeavor to share the experience from the global experience that I have with whichever country, whichever part of the world I travel. And this has always been my initiative, my effort. As the topic goes today, I've been tasked with the presenting some of my thoughts or sharing some of my thoughts on the export potential of the pharma industry or globalizing the pharma industry. Or I would say more appropriately, unlocking the potential of pharma industry in Pakistan. The potential already exists. Let me start by introducing myself. So, as you can see, I'm a chemical engineer by qualification. Been in the pharma industry for over 40 years now. I'm a citizen of Australia and have worked and lived in many different parts of the world. I'm quite fortunate to have been given the opportunity to have worked into almost all facets of the pharmaceutical industry, starting from facility design, building, managing, operating, compliance, regulatory, and a large part of my career has been into international business. Out of the 40 years of my pharma career, the first 20 years I've been employed by a few multinationals, and I've lived across different parts of the world. Since 2004, I set up my own business, PharmSoi. It's a European company with setups in many parts of the world, starting from the company headquarters in Malta. We have set up in Germany, Dubai, India, China, Vietnam, Philippines, Egypt, and my home country, Australia. That's all about myself. So, let's get into the very brief for the procedure, just to give a context to my discussion, how the pharma industry evolved. It's not the story of Pakistan alone, but this agenda which is it. I'm going to focus more onto how Pakistan pharma industry can fast track into getting into the exports into regulated markets. And that's been all my 40 years of experience involved with. So, as the industry evolved across the world or across the Asian continent, this has been a common story across all the countries that we started with our reliance on large multinationals, initially importing their goods, then they all come to set their shops here. As the local competence grew, as the regulations grew, as the systems came into place, more and more domestic industry in all of the Asian countries started growing. It also happened that most of the multinationals were bought out by local companies. It's the same story in all the countries in Asia. Along with size, they also have been a development of talent pool, which was necessary for the industry. So if you look at the all first four elements, they're all there in Pakistan today. We need to develop it, grow further, but they're all there. So we are, if I would say, not to flatter, but in true sense, I would say that we are at the threshold of getting into a global orientation. It needs a beginning, it needs a good start, and of course the backward integration and the skill and the capability development follows. It's a side product or byproduct of the growth objective. At the outset, one of the things I need to apologize that I am not so much aware of, knowledgeable of the pharma industry in Pakistan. So if my objective here is to share my international experience here. But in case I make any statement which is related to Pakistan industry and if it is not correct, my apologies at the beginning. Sorry, it's going backward. So, sorry. When we come to learn, and what you have seen is that how do we learn, how do we grow forward, how do we go? There are many case studies available, but when you talk of case studies, everywhere in the world you go, people just take two names, India and China, who have grown, but you have to understand that they probably have their domestic needs and they've taken nearly 2.5 to 3 decades to reach the level that they are today. But there are a lot of case studies which are in size and potential similar to Pakistan, which have grown in less than a decade. And I can give you several examples. We don't have time to go into each of the case studies, but if you look at the list here, Turkey has done in a little more than a decade. Today it's a major exporter to the Western world. No other barrier was in the place. Whatever political situation has been there, it does not impact the business there. Bangladesh is a recent example, next door neighbor. It has not yet grown in export revenue, but in terms of export potential, it has done big achievements. Out of the 28 big pharma facilities there, about 18 of them are having all foreign qualification with Europe and US. Now I'm proud to say we have been responsible for some of those top 5 pharma industry in Bangladesh to their qualifications. Vietnam is another example, which is a large country with large population. It's about 270 large and medium pharma manufacturing there. They've also done a big change in the regulations, even though today the largest buyer in Vietnam is the government. But still the regulations have done, and there is a very big urge for every industry to grow internationally. And there's a big push, we are also there. Indonesia is another model of success where they have done great strides. If you see the number of approvals in the country, there are quite a few. And last but not least, Saudi Arabia is the latest entrant to this race, which has achieved the success or the growth. Okay, they started from local manufacturing, that was the first objective, and now they are looking very rapidly at growing internationally. They've done acquisitions abroad, they've done brought the multinationals bases to their own country, but it has been very concerted effort which has seen this progress. So what I'm saying is, it's my personal assessment is that what I know from my friends in the industry here is that Pakistan has the potential. It needs to put its eggs together, and with whatever help needed from outside, it could do in less than a period of 5 to 6 years, reach that level which others have taken a decade or more. Now, some of the forward strides, there's one thing what we need to do is moving beyond the comfort zone. What it means is that if we are all in pharmaceutical, which is basically an essential industry. We don't need to find customer base for our products. Whatever we produce will be consumed by some patients. And there is a small segment of population which is our doctors, whom we educate, whom we promote our drugs, and they somehow prescribe our drugs. As against this, if you compare to, say, a soft drink company, they have to create a consumption base first. It's not an essential thing. So we are into a cozy industry. Now we need to shake this comfort, the habit of comfort that we are in this industry, and go out of this. Sorry for being a little critical, but that's what I learned from other countries. We also have the comfort of brand values, that our brands create a lot of values for us, and that gives us comfort for a long period. But that's not the case in the Western world anymore. Most of these have become unbranded products, and it's the quality, selling efficiency, everything speaks. So what it means is you need to adopt right approach, and there is a lot of help available for the approach. And of course, while you are working on the growth path, I'm going to devote last few minutes of mine into the real content of my discussion which I wanted. So the ecosystem needs an effort to develop, but it develops automatically. It's a byproduct again. So I'm here to say that why, when I said 5 to 6 years time, how fast track can be done. So one of the ways or methods that we recommend is that yes, the R&D strength needs certain time to develop. Needs a lot of skill, investment, education, a lot of things. But you could start that by doing technology transfers from a lot of other sources which are available. You have a manufacturing base which is probably larger than the examples of the country that I have taken. So there's a huge manufacturing base here. You have a local consumption. So you could fast track your R&D work by tech transferring, and then grow parallel, go backward into this and develop your R&D skills. You can get your facilities with EU GMP. I'm sure the speakers before me have talked at length on this, but I see there is a big potential here, and we have succeeded. In fact, I'm proud to say that PharmSol has been one of the pioneers, leaders into this, that till last month we've been responsible for helping 67 facilities across the world to get them European GMP certified. And why? I'm not saying that I'm against US or Europe. It's basically cost-effective model that if you have a European GMP, this has become a baseline today. It allows you access to the entire world except the US. So that's a big advantage of getting Europe. It's not that it's easy or complex or whatever, but it's a less cost-intensive exercise which you can start doing it. One more model that we approach, one more approach that we have is, we have several marketing authorizations available, European product or Western world, which you can acquire and get into the market much sooner. Instead of going through the entire gamut of bio studies, developing bioequivalence, creating dossiers, you can acquire those dossiers and products or licenses, and you can join as additional source into dossiers. And that gives you a much faster entry. And I'm not saying this theoretically. This is what we have done in other countries. This is what I've done in Bangladesh. This is what we've done in Vietnam now. This is something which we all keep considering. Where do we have the skills? Where do we have the manpower? I have to ask one question to ourselves. The global pharma industry, who is running, who is operating? I would say more than 50% is the diaspora from this Asian community, which are running. And we have to just learn this from our neighbors China here, who have created a conducive environment by attracting the talent, the Chinese origin people back into China in large numbers. And that has resulted in a growth in China, and I can give you a number. In 2024, the new NCEs, biotech and synthetic molecules, both NCEs, out-licensed from China to the world. The revenue of licensing was $100 billion. And this is the effect of what policies have driven, what attractions. So why can't we attract? So what I'm meaning is, I don't say that government policies can change or the Pakistani national or origin people living abroad will come back, but you could attract them into, employ them into numbers, and you like seed them. So you attract in each industry maybe few people, and then they can train or clone more people. That's the way to do it. It's a fast track way of doing it. This is what we have done in case of Turkey. This is what we have done in case of some of the European countries. I have my own setup in Malta where we employ 250 people, and you would be proud to see that there were 50 odd Pakistanis in the team. So if they can work there, they have the skills. The support infrastructure, which I'm just mentioned 3 examples, will anyway automatically follow, but needs you will need as the industry grows, and it's quite already a very good size of industry. If just take an example, Vietnam did not have the compulsion of biostudies until recently, until about 2015. But now the government is becoming strict on biostudies which are required for even local registrations. More and more molecules are being added to the list, and we are working with a couple of CROs who are working from grassroots building CROs with foreign qualification right from day one. Next door neighbor has largest CRO base today in the world. So that will develop, which needs a concerted effort to be developed. I was looking at the list. There are only 5 BABE centers in Pakistan, DRAP approved list, and from this 2 are already licenses expired. I don't know why, but only 3 available centers. So that number needs to grow automatically. The specialized testing labs, contract testing labs, which I'm not sure whether they are there or not there, but that will be another ingredient required for the growth. And industry has to come forward to do it. My other colleague just now spoke about logistics and transportation. So GDP compliance is a big area which will need to be developed across the country. We are a hot climate country here. Cooling, cold chain transportation, compliant. I'm also saying that we've been responsible for GDP certification of large number of airports and logistic companies across the world. We were for a long time IATA certified partners auditing various airports on their behalf, and we've got them certified. So this is something which has to be done. These are basic ingredients, and it'll, according to my experience, this comes as a byproduct automatically. These are all ancillary support which comes automatically. Very quickly running through this, we all come across challenges. Sorry for overshooting my time, but allow me 5 more minutes maybe. So a lot of first-time experiences we'll make here. There'll be definite delays, there'll be definitely failures. We all need to accept them, few percent of failures. We should not get disheartened by any failures or get discouraged by any failures or get condemned by any failures ourselves. Meeting global standards, we always have this myth that building gold or all shining factories will make gold standard. No. Dr. Sultan just said in the beginning that it's a system, it's the practices, it's the attitude which will have to change to build in quality. We have to build the resources in-house, which is again a process of learning, but we always cite that as a limitation. But what we have seen in other countries, that resources get built. As I said in my previous slide, that you import few people, either from your origin or foreign people, let them, incentivize them to stay here for a few years, train local people and let them go. We have often come across, there are travel restrictions. We will not get visa to go to Western world. Western world will not come here because of the image that we carry. That's only a myth. I think the moment we start collaborating, things will happen. People are coming. If you're buying machines from abroad, you're buying plant from abroad, people are coming here. So it's not that they don't come here. Remaining cost competitive. This is one more myth that's often propagated in the pharma industry, that moment we become compliant, our cost of operation will go higher, product will become expensive. Yes, in the short term it does become expensive, your cost of operation goes high. But in the long run it pays off, because the overall quality of product improves for your own population as well. And that it's not the cost. Today, one myth we also carry is that we are a brand pharma country. Now here what happens is, you are spending at least 60 to 70% part of your price is in promotion, in education, all of these areas. When you export to a country where you are either exporting a generic name or a INN name, you're not spending that 60-70% part on your side. You're just putting manufacturing plus your profit. So you have, attitudinally, you have to get centered around that you will not get the finished product price that you get in India today when you are exporting. It has to be competitive with the Western world, and we have come across, this is very common, I mean, this is not something very basic, but I have seen this attitude everywhere that we cannot match. And a lot of countries have struggled to reach their export potential because of this. Classic example was China. Until 3 years ago, till the compulsory tendering came into place, China was a high-priced domestic market. If you compare to the export revenue of finished formulations from China was much, even today small compared to India. But now it's catching up. Now suddenly one change from the government of price control and everything changed. And of course, image transformation, which it comes with the experience, comes with the business, that we are part of the same community which is exporting to the world. So I'll just run through this very quickly. There are opportunities which are collateral also, that it brings you additional overall culture changes, the quality of medicine changes, quality of treatment changes, and it has a lot of other benefits. The ecosystem is self-sustaining. The moment the industry starts growing, everything else, the need grows, the education grows, the experience grows, everything grows automatically. You will have a talent pool which is growing automatically. Yes, there will be side effect of that people will shift from job to job, but then still you have a large number of people available. So quickly, last 1 minute about PharmSoi, how we can support. So here is a company which has been in the pharma business for 21 years. We have helped companies, we have been acting as a bridge between Asia and Europe, and we have helped many companies to get into European markets. If I have to say in one word that we are a partner, will stay through the journey and will stay at the destination also with you, which means it's very rare to find a combination that those who are only consulting companies, they show you the way, but they are not in the front end. We are also in front end because we are one of the customers for your products. So that's our business. We do both product and services. That shows our history here. So we are a company which is present in 8 different locations. The 9th one is a education project. Some other day we will talk. This is our brief CV, what we have done for our products that we are about. We developed, we came into the market with development of on-patent products. And we were quite successful developing 25 plus. We were first generic in European market. And that's where defined our movement then. Today we work with 60 plus manufacturers and our business is growing. So why not add few more from Pakistan? These are some of our services which offerings. So we are one of the large auditing company. We audit for European market. We have helped, as I said, 67 factories to get European certification. We helped several companies to pass USFDA inspections. And we will be your partner also because to be able to sell into European market, either you have a partner or you can register your own using companies like us who will hold your MAs. Thank you so much for your patient listening, and thank you to the organizers for taking my time.